Hello, my name is Danielle Richmond. For my non-communications presentation, I had to do posture. I learned a lot about posture when it came to reading, um, and I learned that it's not just how you hold your body or how you present yourself, it also is like eye contact, other things like that. So posture is also known as movement. Your gait or the way that you walk is one example of how your body movement can communicate a particular message about you to others. So in the top, I chose this lady in the blue shirt. To me, it looks like she's radiating a lot of confidence. She's got her head high. She's got her hands on her hips, but not like a demanding way, more of just like she feels good about herself. And if I were to look at her, just at a glance and I didn't know her, I would feel like she was proud and very confident. And then in the bottom left corner, I chose this gentleman with his hands high. He's very excited. He's got this great expression on his face. It just, to me, shows that he's like excited about something. And then in the bottom right hand corner, of course, I have this gentleman with his hands on his head. He just seems very stressed, very overwhelmed. That posture looks like it's just a lot for him. Maybe he's not doing very well at work, school, whatever it may be. It just shows like he's not very comfortable. Um, Body language is the science of nonverbal signals such as gestures, facial expressions, and eye gaze that communicate a person's emotions and intentions. Up in the top right corner, just a little preview of somebody, with their hands on their hips. As it says, it shows dominance or communicates that there are issues. If somebody were to come up to you and they had this body stance and this posture, you would think that, you were in trouble, they were angry, something along that nature. And then, of course, the hands behind his back, just keeping people at bay. Maybe you wouldn't want to come up and approach somebody with their hands like that, with that posture, or maybe they're just, looking around, getting a feeling for what's going on, just kind of looking around the building. It reminds me kind of a boss stance. And then, of course, in the bottom left corner, I have two people who have intently, they're looking at each other, making great eye contact. They're reciprocating the fact that they're listening to each other. They both have good body language. Their shoulders are held high. Their faces, they just are really intrigued. Seems to be that they're intrigued in what each other are saying. So for this one, please play the following clip, Mr. Holland's Opus for Module 3. I chose this module because I felt like there was a lot of posture going on. This was kind of my negative example. To me, I felt like Mr. Holland's posture towards his son Cole was very, frustrated. He had his shoulders tensed. He just looked angry. He wasn't calm, relaxed. His hands weren't flowy. He just seems very frustrated and angry. But then also with Cole, I feel like you could tell his posture was a little intimidated because he was upset with the situation. So I feel like when it comes to that posture, you can really tell, get a feel. If you were from an outsider looking in, kind of like we were watching the video, you could tell that everybody's posture was a little off. Even though words might have not been said about how Cole himself was feeling, or Mr. Holland or Mr. Holland's wife, you could still tell that everybody was kind of on edge and very antsy. And then for my second video, kind of a good example, I chose, if you could please play the following clip, 7 Years in Tibet, Module 2. I chose this one as my good example just because I really liked this video. I got a kick out of it. I learned a lot about different cultures and things of that nature whenever I watched this video. I really, towards the end of the video, Henrik's posture when he was explaining to the young boy that there were so many worms and that's impossible, but he still had a relaxed posture. He was laughing. He seemed amused. He wasn't angry at all about the situation. His posture didn't make him seem like he was angry. He was still listening to the young boy and understanding what he was saying. but like he just had this very nonchalant, his shoulders were relaxed, he had a smile, he was making eye contact. That posture kind of to me made it seem like he was comfortable and he felt comfortable talking to the boy about the situation, and thus he even ended up taking care of the worms and saving the worms and getting all the bowls. So I thought that was a really cool example of that. And then in summary, posture or body language is important and oftentimes gives away more, or often gives more away than words do, which I think is very true. How you express yourself around other individuals is important. I believe this not only with body posture, but like eye contact, gestures, anything that you could do. I believe that how you express yourself is important. It is also important to be able to understand other people's nonverbal behaviors. Requires two separate skills: being sensitive to nonverbal messages and deciphering their meaning. I think that this is an important skill that everyone should try their best to learn how to do. And then here are my references. I learned a lot from the 23 essential body language examples and their meanings. That's where I learned a lot of my information other than from the Floyd book. And then I just have the 2 videos linked there, and that's it.